You guys, today was a lazy morning. I did not go running. Most of you may know that I run every morning, but today was one of those days I woke up, I said, not today. So I enjoyed my cup of coffee in bed, and I feel a lot more prepared on this live today than I was yesterday. I even got the funky pair of glasses. Good morning, guys. Come on in, grab a drink, pull up a stool at the bar, whatever makes you happy. It is a Thursday. We're almost at the weekend. If this is your first time tapping in, welcome. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we're on Instagram. We're not on TikTok because I left my other phone at the office. So we're only on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook today. If you are a regular, hey, so lovely to see you. Today I have some immigration news and updates regarding bills that are being proposed, that are trying to be passed to give so many more immigrants a route to citizenship through a green card. And of course, I'll open it up to questions. If you guys have any questions for me, if you're concerned about anything, you guys know that I'm here, what I do. Hey, Arthelina, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ajoke Wobolo, good morning. Let's see, good morning to everyone. Kingish0126, Jay Martinez 1926, good morning. Sasku, good morning. Bad Chubs, Linnea 12, Mark Aroff, good morning. Iron Lady of Liberia, Oman Phillip, Saint 028. Good morning, everyone. I just really love the energy when I come on here. So let me start first with the state of immigration law in the United States right now. It's a disaster. It's a mess. It's been broken for many years. Every administration that comes in tries to kind of fix it. I mean, at least they say that when they're running, and then nothing happens. So the most recent proposed bill is to update the registry. So there's a law called registry for people who have been in the United States from before January 1st of 1972. If you are in the United States before January 1st, 1972, you can apply for a green card, assuming that you have no other bars to admissibility, crimes, and things like that. So the bill in the House right now is trying to change that requirement to more of a rolling eligibility, which would mean that anyone in the United States who's been here for at least 7 years, has good moral character, and does not have any bars to admissibility, would be able to apply for a green card, right? So it wouldn't matter when you entered, as long as you've been here for at least 7 years. This would open up a path to citizenship for, let's see, 8 million people, right? I have my numbers here, y'all. I don't try to go off the top of my head because I have a lot of things going on in my head. I have 3 children, I'm busy as hell, and I have a dog. So I make notes, so I make sure I'm not like giving you the wrong numbers and giving you the wrong information, because that would not be good. So if this were to pass, it would give 8 million people a path to citizenship. This would include dreamers, TPS holders, and backlogged immigration cases. Right now, let me give you all some numbers. 9.8 million U.S. citizens and 4.8 million U.S. citizen children have a member in their home who would benefit from this. So for the children, it could be their parents. For the just general citizens, it could be their spouses. So many people would benefit for this. Okay, someone's asking a question. We have a question on Instagram. I was asking about a divorce certificate already, and they accepted it. Thanks for your information and effort. Oh, okay, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. I'm happy that was helpful, and I'm happy that they accepted it. Good morning, Abim. You're such a regular. So lovely to see you on here. So, and when you start to talk about, first of all, this country was built on the backs of immigrants. We built this country, okay? I don't care if there's an ulterior or different opinion. It's a fact. Immigrants built America, period. Next, there is a shortage of workers, right? There is a proper shortage of workers. No one wants to work. There are jobs. There's things that need to be done. We talk about agriculture, just the economy. This would benefit and boost the economy immensely if this were to pass. So not only that, it would reunite families. There's so many people that are separated from their children, their spouses, their parents, their loved ones, because our immigration system is so fucked up. I don't know how else to say it. It really is. It's a disaster. And I know this because I'm an immigration attorney and I deal with these cases and I see the delays, I see the incompetence. And that's why a lot of times we have to sue the US government because they don't do their jobs. Okay. We have a question on Instagram. Hello, it's been 5 months since my CASA says still in review, since your case says still in review by US. Okay. I'm a Justin Thus and I have a social security and a work permit. How long do I have to wait? Thanks in advance. Is this, it would depend, is this post-interview? I don't know if this is 5 months after your interview. If it is before interview, you're probably well within processing times for 5 months, to be honest. That's not long at all. If it is after your interview, then you would want to have your attorney, if you have one, reach out to the field office and ask them, what the hell is taking so long? Like, if there's an RFE, they need to send it. If they need an additional evidence, they need to say that. But if it's before you interview, that's 5 months is not a long time at all. So just keep working, stay out of trouble, and make sure whoever your attorney is, or if you're doing your case on your own, make sure you're following up. You know who to email, you know who to contact, you know how to contact your congressional person if things start to really take a long time. Because when I tell y'all your case will sit there and gather dust, it will. Okay? All right. So that is the news for today. This is exciting news, you guys, and this is a bipartisan effort, meaning bipartisan means both, there's support on both sides. You know, Republicans, Democrats are all supporting this. Because when you think about it, if you've been in the United States for 7 years and you are a good person and you have been a valuable member of the society, community, you're contributing, why shouldn't you have a path to citizenship? Like, I don't really understand what the problem is. I don't understand. They're paying their taxes, they're working, they're here, they have US citizen children, spouses, family members, they're helping with the lack of worker shortage, right? Because no one wants to work. So what's the problem? Just give them their green card and their citizenships, okay? Period. On a land that's like really everyone's, because, you know, I mean, we're not gonna get into that conversation. You guys know I love to push the envelope. Okay, so another update is if you received an RFE or a notice of intent to deny, the extension on responding has been extended to October, so an additional 60 days. These extensions have been coming in since 2020 when COVID happened. The truth is, y'all, real talk, it's going to take a while for USCIS to get caught up. Like, I think them giving extensions is not so much for you, the immigrants, it's because they're so backlogged and they rather allow you more time so they could clear their backlog and be able to catch up. I'll take it. You know, I'll take the extension because really and truly, a lot of these RFEs and notices of intent to deny we need more time. We need more time to gather the evidence. We need more time to prepare our arguments. We need more time to research. Clients sometimes take a while to get things to us. So I'm here for the 60-day extension all day long. So know that. Okay, guys, what are your questions today? Let's hear it. What are your questions? Who, is in a bad marriage? Who's in a good marriage? Who needs a petition under VAWA? Who needs to do a classic adjustment? Who has an interview coming up? Oh, I had an interview yesterday in LA. Let me talk about that. It was a green card adjustment interview. And in the interview, the client was asked a lot of questions, right? And we had reviewed the application before the interview because we always review applications before interviews. And during the interview, some of the things that the client had checked off on the application, this was actually a case that I took on later, were wrong. He had checked off that he had not worked unauthorized, and he had checked off that he had not violated the terms of his non-immigrant visa. So those things were just like maybe a typo, but do know that if you make a mistake on your application, it is not the end of the world. At the interview, you get one more chance when they ask you to update the interview. So we were able to update that, yes, he did work unauthorized, even though he never technically worked for anyone because he has his own business. But if you own your own business in the US and you're earning an income, it is working unauthorized. So you have to check yes. Also, the violating the terms of your non-immigrant visa. If you enter the United States as a visitor or as an F1, any form of non-immigrant status, and you overstay, that is a violation, period, like it is. So he had entered the US like in the 80s and just stayed. So that's a violation of his non-immigrant status. Okay, so that's that. But we were able to update the record at the interview, and it's all good. I have no worries about this green card. He's going to be fine. Him working unauthorized in this case for his relief, because he was adjusting through the Liberian green card, would not bar him. If you were adjusting, however, through a green card holder's spouse or parent, that would be a bar to your admissibility, and you would have to, get a waiver, consular process, or whatever. But that's not a bar if you are married to a U.S. citizen. It's not a bar for the Liberian green card, and it wouldn't be a bar for VAWA. Okay? So let's talk about what is a winning VAWA application. And the reason I think it's important to talk about what makes a winning VAWA application is because I see a lot of VAWA applications that come to me that have been denied. And when I look at why it was denied, it's not because the case is not good. It's because it was not put together properly. It was sloppy, and the attorney or the clients could have done a better job. Your declaration is really powerful. This is where you tell your story. And guys, again, as I ramble on, you can interrupt and ask me your questions. I'll stop and I'll answer your question, because that's the point of this. Your declaration is in my opinion, the most powerful piece of evidence, right? As long as it's credible. Because that's where you really get to lay out your human story, like your journey from when you met this person to how your relationship progressed, how they treated you, how they mistreated you, and where you are today, and how it has affected you emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, mentally, physically, and all that. There are a lot of times when, if you're lacking evidence, so you're not able to show your bona fide relationship because it was part of the abuse and your spouse kept you out of decision making, there was no joint assets, you were not on the bank account, you were not on the lease, you were not on the credit cards, you were not on the deed, you can talk about that in your declaration. This is where anything that would raise an eyebrow, you talk about it in your declaration. You really lay it out. In our office, we don't let the clients do the declarations on their own. No, because how would you know what to say? So we ask questions. We know what responses we're looking for. So we ask questions and we kind of get the information out of you. And I know it can be sometimes re-traumatizing. We certainly work really hard to avoid that, because our goal is to get you your liberty, your freedom, and your green card. Okay. So, guys, what are your questions? Because if I don't get a question in 2 minutes, I'm going to log off. Because I have to get my phone from my office because I left it there yesterday. So, if you guys have, a lot of people may submit their applications and they miss, they don't do the 485, even though they qualify. They don't do the work permit, even though they qualify. And now they got to submit it later and pay the fee. Or they just never submit it because they heard that you can't do a 485 with a VAWA. Now they got to wait for the VAWA to be approved to get that work permit. It's lack of information can be really harmful. Let me touch on something, a consultation I had yesterday, because this is really, really important. So I spoke with a guy yesterday at 5:00. It was emergency. My calendar was all blocked, but he called. He was SOS. So I squeezed him in at 5 p.m. And the issue was he had entered as a student, F1 student, went to school for 4 years, dropped out. So I think he dropped out in 2020. Then he met his wife. They got married, and she's a U.S. citizen. In that case, enter legally, married a U.S. citizen, you can adjust your status in the United States without leaving. You do not need a waiver unless there are other issues to your admissibility. So if the officer reviews your case and they realize that you had lied, entering as an F1, you really, your papers were fake, whatever, then you need something called a 601 waiver. But you can still get it inside the United States because you entered legally. This consult person had called several attorneys, and at least 3 of them told him, no, you're here illegally, you have to leave. You need a 601 waiver, which is a provisional waiver that you get before you leave, because what happens is you trigger a bar if you've been in the United States for more than 6 months, 3-year bar, more than 12 months, 10-year bar. Be careful who you're getting your information from. I mean, 3 attorneys, immigrant attorneys, gave him literally wrong advice. Like, it's wrong. Like, he literally does not need to leave the U.S. He's married to a U.S. citizen. He entered legally. He can adjust in the U.S. without leaving. Okay. So, moral of the story, a lot of folks out here don't know what the hell they're doing. Okay. The only requirement for parents, Lariffa RFE's updated passport, been waiting 40 weeks, and embassy not helpful, no updates. I'm just telling us. Okay, so with the, if you have an RFE requesting your passport, if you have made all the efforts in getting the passport, you've sent emails, you've contacted the embassy, and the embassy's not helpful, and you're getting close to your due date, submit all the evidence that you've tried to contact the embassy, you've sent emails, you filled out the application, and write to USCIS, do an affidavit saying you've made all reasonable efforts, you just cannot get it. Actually, we've argued in our office that an updated Liberian passport is not required, because Lariffa is kind of like, almost like a refugee kind of relief. That's kind of like the intent, the congressional intent when it was put into law 2 years ago. It's over now. But you have to respond to the RFE with everything that you have. So I would say put the emails that you sent to the embassy showing that they're not responsive, put your application, and then submit whatever passport you have, or whatever other evidence you have to show that you're a Liberian citizen or national. That's what I would recommend. Someone wants an emergency consultation today. Send me a DM. I'll look at my calendar and see where I can squeeze you in. Send me a DM, and then I'll have a member of my team contact you, and then I can see where I can get you in. Okay, King Josh. So what's the processing times like for an I-131 if applying after EAD is received? Oh, it depends. We've gotten travel documents in 3 months. We've gotten travel documents in 6 months. I'll tell you this though, if you need to travel, so what we do in our office is we always file the travel document together with the 485 and the work permit application. When you receive the receipt notice, which would be about, maybe about 4 to 6 weeks, you can go to your local USCIS and get a stamp in your passport to travel. So when you travel, you would be traveling with your EAD, your receipt notice from your travel document, your valid passport, and the stamp in your passport. Now, typically, when you have to leave without the actual document, it has to be an emergency. So if someone's sick, if you have an ill family member, you'll have to take it to your local field office. In our office, we do we schedule everything for our clients, and typically, they get an appointment and it's issued the same day. But that's what we do for our clients, because we give value. Okay. Can you use expired passport for file application? Yes, you can, because the standard is any credible evidence. So you mean your U.S. citizen spouse's passport? You can submit anything that shows that they're a U.S. citizen. USCIS will try to push back and say, give us a valid one. Okay. But if you have a knowledgeable, experienced attorney, they can push back. So yeah, any evidence that you have, we submit. We've adjusted our clients with expired passports. It happens all the time. It's not a big deal. Now, to leave the United States and to be able to come back in, it has to be valid. So once you get your VAWA adjustment approved, if you want to leave, your passport obviously has to be valid with at least 6 months on it. So I would say start working on that. Right, yes, you can. Yeah, a lot of my clients think their passports are expired. It doesn't matter. Your expired passport is expired. That's fine. You don't have to have a valid passport to adjust in the United States. I always say if you're able to start working on renewing the passport, do that. But it is understandable that a lot of times renewing passports take a long time, so it's whatever. I submitted my 10 years application over a year ago. My 2-year green card expires on. Can I apply for citizenship? So if you are, yes. So when you submit your 10-year green card, and they're taking a long time to process that, once you hit that 2-year and 9-month mark, you can file for citizenship. As a matter of fact, in our office, yeah, no, we give like that top-notch service. We do that for our clients, and it forces USCIS to make a decision on the 751 because they cannot even look at your naturalization without adjudicating your 751 and reaching an agreement on that. A lot of times when we get to the interview, they'll process the 751 first, and then they'll move on to the citizenship application. Thanks, Gina. You guys, I have a collection of glasses because 2 reasons. I cannot see without them, and I lose them. So I literally have glasses in my office, home office, bedroom, car, gym downstairs. I have them every kitchen because I can't see. No, I'm blind. No, I literally cannot see. Okay. All right. You guys, great questions this morning. Great questions. I really appreciate the questions because when I had that consultation yesterday and that potential client told me that 2 other immigration attorneys told him that even though he entered the United States legally, yes, he's out of status because he's been out of F1 status for 2 years, but he's married to a U.S. citizen. He does not need a waiver as long as he doesn't leave. And as long as there are no issues of misrepresentation. So I was like, is there anything else that you told him and I don't know? He's like, no, I just told him that I came as an F1, I went to school, I went out of status because I couldn't afford it, married my wife, she's a U.S. citizen, and they told me I had to leave. That is wrong. Like, it's literally wrong. It's not true. Like, you do not need a 601 waiver when you're married to a U.S. citizen as long as you enter with inspection. Also, for VAWA applicants, even if you entered without inspection and crossed the border, you do not have to leave to adjust your status. That's one of the great benefits of and rewards of these humanitarian reliefs, VAWA, U visa, T visa. You don't have to leave to adjust your status. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, L. Okay, so we got the whole family in here today. Okay, I like that. I bet you got your whole crew in here. I'm here with them. All right. Okay, El Toro, I'm looking forward to chatting with you soon. I certainly am. I'm looking forward to chatting with you. Okay, so I'm loving the questions this morning, and that's exactly what I am here to do. The immigration updates, keep an eye on those. I'll keep bringing you guys updates. I certainly hope that bill passes because that registry bill has been powerful since, the Immigration Nationality Act was enacted in 1929, and they kept renewing it. And the most recent update was in 1972. So anyone who entered the United States after January 1st, 1972 does not qualify. So now this bill to have more of a rolling eligibility would allow anyone who's been in the United States for at least 7 years to go ahead and apply for adjustment of status, assuming they meet all the other requirements, they have good moral character, and no other, bars to admission, like really grave criminal backgrounds. And just when you look at the numbers, it'll benefit over 8 million people who are here in the United States at this time, and who, frankly, in my opinion, are probably more American than half of these Americans out here. Guys, I'm sorry. Look, I'm an immigrant, okay? Like, my family came here 20 years ago, and we went through the process. Like, we really did. And so it's a land for everyone. It really is. It is. When you think of the history of this country and the true Americans, right? And the ones who took it away. Like, it wasn't theirs. So who are you to tell me that I don't have a right to be here and I don't have a right to the liberties, the freedoms, the opportunities, and the potential that this country has to give when you took it away? So anyway, all right, guys, it's been about 30 minutes. Thank you for tapping in this morning. I missed my run, so I could be prepared. guys. I'm training for. You're welcome, Yan the realtor. You're welcome. You guys, I'm training for a marathon. Okay, so I'm training for a marathon. I haven't been on schedule, but I was consistent for the last week, at least the last week. So anyway, I'll keep you guys posted on that. All right, beautiful people. I'll see you guys on here again tomorrow. Please do not forget, as always, reach out to us for a consultation. 612-453-2691. The link in the bio has the link tree. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, and we're on here. And I will see you beautiful people on here again tomorrow. Bye.